our final speaker for the day, Richie Scott.
Well, it looks like there's a lot of people here today. Okay, so this is my speech. This year has been one of the most eventful of my life. Not only have there been enormous changes in my personal life, or no, but there have been many things that have happened here at the school. Budget cuts, battles with censorship, chemical spills, and retiring teachers. A year so full of change has taught me a lot, not only about myself, but about our community and our school. I started my senior year back, fresh from a year as an exchange student in Mexico. There, I realized many things. I realized how privileged we really are here in the United States, how Americans are perceived outside of the US, how there is a huge world out there that we will never really know exists. Living in such a small community, it's very easy to forget that there are people out there, human beings just like you and me, who are suffering on a primal level day after day. There are children who aren't given the love, comfort, and support of a family and must fend for themselves on the filthy streets. There are farmers who are kicked off their ancestral lands and forced to move into the slums of the city by large corporations. There, they find no work and can't support themselves and are forced to abandon their families to find their work. Before leaving the country, I had a vague idea that all of this was happening, but it wasn't until I saw the children in the street with dirty faces begging for just a scrap of food that I realized it was real. Here in the US, we complain when gas prices are so high we can hardly afford to drive our SUVs a few miles down the street to the jobs that we have. Then at night, we return to our warm, well-lit, and safe homes and families that we have. We find a hair in our soup and we pour it down the drain because, well, we have the resources and we have the money to waste. Now, it's not like I'm saying that this bowl of soup should be boxed up and sent to a third world country. No. What I'm saying is that as a nation, we make up only about 5% of the global population, but we consume 25% of the world's resources. What gives us that right? After living in one of the poorest areas in the Western Hemisphere and then returning here, I've noticed unbridled waste going on everywhere I look. There are brownies used as projectiles, left to rot in the grass. Half-eaten but wholly paid-for food is left on every restaurant table. Boxes and boxes of plastic utensils, plates, glasses, and bowls are used once and thrown into the garbage without a second thought. I think that as our new generation of leaders come into power, we will realize that the way we have been living for the past few decades cannot continue. It is time to look at what we have and to be respectful enough of the planet and its inhabitants to say, I will not be a wasteful member of society. I will do something to change the world. Even if it is an act as small as recycling your garbage, eating all of the food you order, or planting a tree. If we all decide we're going to do something to curb the inequity of the world, we really could make a difference. Now, some of you may be thinking that you don't care about the plight of billions of people you've never met. The only reason I do is because I went to Mexico. Well, you're right. Before I spent a year abroad, I had no idea what lay out there in the real world. I had to get out of here to see that maybe not everything I had taught throughout my life was the truth. And I beg of you, if you have any tiny inkling that maybe there's something for you to discover out there, go for it. Pack a backpack, buy an airplane ticket, and just go. That's all there is to it. Just go and live life like the locals and see what you return home thinking about the world and your place in it. I think that not many of us are comfortable doing that, though, because we are afraid. We are afraid of not doing exactly what is expected of us, of not succeeding, of not making obscene amounts of money, of questioning authority. This year has been a time for me of forgetting the fear that has been instilled in me my entire life. One example of this would be the banning of the play here at the high school. People saw the play as something dangerous to their well-being and the well-being of their children, and that is something that I don't understand. I don't understand how a piece of art that challenges people to think, to look past the superficialities of profanity, sex, and alcohol can be perceived as dangerous. And there was one man, Mr. Doug Potter, who didn't understand as well. He fought tooth and nail to help us battle censorship and conservatism in our community. And because of his selfless persistence to actually help the students, to to manage people based on love rather than fear. He has earned my respect. It is sad to know that his dedication and understanding will not be present at LHS in future classes, but hopefully, the rest of the administration can follow his example and live by the inspirational poster hanging in their office. Respect is something that is earned and not given away. Mr. Potter has not only been proactive in respecting his students, but he has taught me that reason can still prevail, even in the zoo of a high school. Even though he was seen as the main authority figure at LHS, he showed me that if he was wrong, he should be challenged. He and Mr. Kevin Cahill taught me that if you believe in something, never give it up. Never stop questioning authority. Never stop thinking for yourself. And I think not many of us high schoolers realize that if we perceive something is wrong, we should challenge it, rather than lie down and do exactly what we're told. And I think not many teachers and administrators see that education should be meant to provoke thought, to create independent thinkers. But can they really be blamed? With all the rules, regulations, and requirements that are put on everyone, it is very easy to let high school metamorphose from a place of higher learning and mutual respect to an almost prison-like requirement where fear of the system hinders development. So I stand here today as someone who has learned much, but still has an impossible amount to learn. And I beg of you, graduates, everyone, think globally. Earn the respect you think you deserve. Challenge the system. Refuse to be another sheep in the flock. Thank you.